Well, it's more like a challenge to step up another level. And that level is that there is no anti-drug alcohol campaign out there. And if you take a good look on the streets, you'll see that meth is devastating the young people in Edmonton. And if you talk to any of these young teenagers, you ask them, when did you start? They're saying 12 years old. And I don't see a campaign, I don't see one poster out there talking about how dangerous this stuff is. As a committee, we should think about that level of getting after the government and saying, look, we need to do something about this problem, because that's the next generation coming in the next 20 years.
And so putting some more effort into prevention and education
yes.
work.
Especially at that public school level, grades 5, 6, 7. You know, that really needs to be looked at, and it needs to be advocated for.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Hi, Becky. I was quite interested in your place. I have never heard of it. I'm a recovering alcoholic addict, and my son is a recovering meth addict. And still, I have never heard of a place where you could go. I myself have had my struggles, and a lot of addicts that I've met have struggles with, they just can't give up the alcohol. But all this time in Edmonton, I never knew there was a place to go where it could be doled out, right? So where does a person find out about your, I've been to the AHS Detox Center in Edmonton, I don't know, like countless times, and still I've never heard of it.
Yeah. Actually, that's kind of what drew me to come tonight, is because I wanted to know more about what is out there in Edmonton, because I don't think that, we need to share this information more so that everyone's aware of what are the options out there, because to someone, harm reduction is key, and to someone, abstinence is key, right? So that's one thing why I'm here, and I just wanted to get the information out there. I do know of a couple other facilities within Edmonton. They're all different, that are harm reduction, like alcohol harm reduction, drug harm reduction, and some where they only allow beer, or some where you can come in intoxicated but you can't have alcohol, and then there's somewhere staff dole it out. So I just don't know of any list of where you can find all these different places available in Edmonton, and maybe we need that. I have been part of a committee or group that's throughout Canada, that's a managed alcohol program. They do webinars once a month, and we kind of learn from each other. There's some that they also follow other addictions, so like Listerine, all different things. So
Yeah, I know a lot of homeless alcoholics, and that's why I'm just asking, because they don't know about this, right?
Yeah.
And what was the name of your place again?
So the place that I'm at is Grand Manor.
Grand Manor.
Yeah, and then I'm aware of a few other facilities, Baldwin Place. So Excel also runs Baldwin Villa, but that's different from Baldwin Place. Baldwin Place is run by Addictions and Mental Health. And then there's Urban Manor, there's Ambrose Place.
You can call 211 too and ask that question.
Yeah, and there's also a thing, it's called Continuing Care Access. So you can contact them. I don't know if you have a pen, I can give you the phone number.
Yeah.
It's 780-496-1300. And so they will provide coordinators to, if you have someone that needs assessment, they need help. So say a senior that needs home care, they'll come and assess, and they'll help provide home care. They'll set people up with home care, or if they need supportive living, or if they need long-term care. So that's continuing care access is where they'll actually come and assess people.
Okay. And Grand Manor, does that do alcohol and drug harm reduction?
Just alcohol.
Just alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, we have distributed methadone and
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Becky. And it's been a little while since I learned and told your story. And so I remember when we were asking you about, where in your program, what threatens people. And one of the challenges at Grand Manor was, if people still want to binge drink, that continues to be a threat to their housing. So, and so there's some of those challenges that are there. None of this is easy or straightforward, but it's, you're coming alongside people on a journey and trying to help them out.
If I could maybe share that. Yeah, I could, our program isn't for everybody, for sure. So I always say that it's not for everyone. Where we have not had success is in where people prefer to binge drink. And so where we do have success is the people that are content having, a certain amount of alcohol every day or maybe a little bit every week. And then another big challenge is that we have a bright neon sign liquor store across the street. We're right in the heart of downtown. We're right in Chinatown, and it's that's hard for people. And so when people do come in, we actually do like what Karen had suggested was, we tell everyone like what our program's all about. We tell them their rights. We go through our goals. What we ask them what their goals are. And then we talk about those open things, like, is this going to be an issue with this liquor store right across the street from you? Is this going to be an issue if you want to abstain? Is it going to be okay for you if you're in the elevator and someone else beside you smells of alcohol because they just had their alcohol? So I think those things are very important, is asking all those questions before, or as someone's planning on moving in.
We can take one more question. Aaron.
How about a comment / question, or however you want to comment on this? I'm making a comment, you guys can comment too, but my name's Aaron. I'm with the Old Strathcona Street Outreach Mission. And something that has really been on Pastor Pam and I, and my wife Wanda's heart, is getting the community involved in the journey that our neighbors who are experiencing homelessness and various kinds of addiction, getting the community to be part of that walk. And Pamela, you said, you mentioned something that is so true about the relationship, right? So that's something that we're working on, getting the community part of, like making relationships with people. Like, so for example, in our area, White Ave, there's the Strathcona Market. So just an example, there's usually people on the Saturday morning there looking for money or this kind of thing. And just, in a circumstance like that, just take someone for a coffee instead of giving them $5 and starting to get to know who they are and sharing who they are as well. Like the person approaching the person experiencing homelessness, not trying to fix people or pretend, just being vulnerable themselves, right? So there's an initiative going on in Edmonton called Recover right now, and you might have heard of it. And one feedback that they got from the people that they were interviewing who are experiencing homelessness is that those people said, well, I wish someone would ask how I'm doing or help me out who's not part of an agency or part of an institution, right? So for example, I go out on the street in and around old Strathcona, boots on the ground type of thing, right? And even though I work out of the church, Strathcona Baptist Church, I don't wear a t-shirt or a badge or something. And if someone says, oh, what are you doing? I just walk around saying hi to people, right? I don't want to be associated with an agency, an organization, that kind of thing, right? And, I heard it once said, I don't know if I completely agree, there's only going to be as much homelessness as a community allows. I mean, ever since the fall, right, we're going to have homelessness. But, what do you think about what I'm saying? And what do you think about enabling and encouraging the community to take part in what's going on with people who are struggling?
Anyone?
Sure. Anyone?
Anyone. I'm hoping everyone.
Well, first of all, if anybody here wants to know what it looks like to really walk with people, Aaron and his crew here would be those people. So I work for the agency, so I have protocols and procedures and, you know, all that good stuff, but these are the real deal right here that are working ground level, so those are the people you want to connect to. I think the bridge between community and us is more people like you, because I think at some point you two need our help to help resource people once that connection is made. So how do we get more people like you and Bev, Pam,
Yeah.
and Wanda?
Wanda on Saturdays.
Yeah. How do we get more people like you? I actually don't know. I feel interfaith, the church community, does have a responsibility in that to serve our community. It's not just up to social services. So where are we in that is that we need to be there on the back end, not the front end, to provide the support as you bring people in and we get them the help, the professional services that they might need, but we need you to bring them. I don't know how to get more people involved, I really don't. But I think it's a really, really good question and a problem we need to figure out. Yeah.
Well, it just makes me think of the, we just had the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness Conference. There was over 1,500 people there. And we had a lot of people, we had over 150 people with lived experience at the conference. And something that was really powerful that they were doing in Kelowna is they had lived experience libraries. And what they did is they invited people to libraries and to talk about their stories. And it was lived and what was incredible, they invited people to, and what do you bring, what do you bring, what do? We bring food, right? And it was just allowing these people to come there and share their journeys. And inviting them in, inviting them with food, right? And just to be able to share their life journeys, right? Who did you have there? People with lived experience, right? So other people with lived experience. So reach out to people with lived experience to come and be part of that, right? Because relating, right? Peer to peer, really powerful when you have another person there who is, they always say it's so nice to be able to talk to someone who understands. Right, so if they can also be part of that, but that's something, you know, that if you can get other people with lived experience to be part of that, I mean, it's really powerful, right? But what you're doing is wonderful. I want to be cautious of how I say this, but when we do our homeless counts, I sit on the committee with Homer Trust as a lived experience person, and I said, something that would be powerful that we can do when we go and do these homeless counts is to honor our people back for giving us their stories. We're asking them some very personal questions when we're asking their stories all the time when we do this homeless counts. What we need to do is go back into the communities and we need to give them and honor them and tell them thank you. Thank you for giving us your information and feeding them and telling them this is what we're doing with this information. Not just using them as resource people to get counts, right? Because they're more than that. And so that was the information I brought back as a lived experience person on the committee. As I said, we need to be going back into Bissell and Boyle and honoring them for giving their stories to us.
Edmonton's actually really good for community members helping out. Definitely could be better. There was, just this weekend, there was Warm Hands, Warm Hearts, and there's one lady who 4 or 5 years ago, she kept doing the same jogging past and the same guy. As you got to know him, he's always warming his hands to events, so she gave him his gloves, and then it grew into handing out 600 backpacks to people living downtown. So that itself is something community-based. And what it was is she brought the community to her where she was at, and if we bring, like right now we're all here together because we're here where we're at. If we're in church, we bring lived experience in the church, have them come talk on the podium in church, get the community involved that way, let them know the organizations, they can donate their money to the organizations or their time. Time is way more valuable than money. In front of Hope Mission on Sundays at 7 o'clock is a Smile Project, and what they do is, and any one of you, I challenge you to join them, is bring a dish. And all you do is take the dish there at 7 o'clock and people line up and you feed them. It's biblical in a way because food doesn't run out. It just when you're worried that food's gonna run out, no one's gonna get fed, another dish comes along. And it's an open invitation, there's no organization. We're organizing it, you just show up. So there are stuff the community is doing, but there's more the community can do. I'd say meet the community where they're at and do it that way, because that's where they're comfortable.
Yeah, I have a story. I have a friend, and he, I don't know if Snowy knows him, but he goes to the mustard seed every day. And he eats there because he doesn't like cooking. But he's a chess player. He goes there and he just plays chess with the people. And I've been there. And I don't know how many of you guys have been to the mustard seed, but I encourage you to go to the mustard seed or somewhere like that. And just go there and play a game with them. I just went there and played chess with them. Went there and did karaoke. Just to be with them as a person. Like I said, not trying to help them, not just treating them like you would treat your family on game night or Monopoly night. And so many of those kids light up when they say, well, how do you play this game? And et cetera, et cetera. So like you said, it encourages relationships. And over the years, I've seen my friends help a lot of people in the mustard seed just by playing chess with them.
That's a very wonderful example, thank you. I know I worked at Mosaic Center for a while too, and I played lots of crib with you. That was, so, thank you very much for your time. Can I have let's have a round of applause.